all and welcome back. In today's episode, we will be discussing the language of immunology, and by that, I mean looking at some of the basic terms in relation to the immune system. So let's start with the basics. Now, you may have heard me use the word pathogen in previous episodes. So what is a pathogen? A pathogen is any kind of disease-causing organism. Could be a virus, could be a bacteria, could even be a fungus. So basically any organism that makes you sick or feel ill. And this is regardless of how your immune system responds. Next, we have antigens. So essentially, an antigen is a molecule that your immune system can recognize and bind to. Think of it as a name tag of a pathogen. Then we have antigen receptors. So these are molecules on the surface of T and B cells that allow immune cells to recognize specific antigens. T cells have TCRs or T cell receptors, and B cells have BCRs or B cell receptors, which are sometimes called surface immunoglobulins. So then we have antibodies / immunoglobulins. So once activated, B cells make a soluble version of their BCR, B cell receptor. This is what we call an antibody. So the immune system's weapon against specific invaders. And finally, what is an immunogen? So an immunogen is any substance capable of inducing an immune response, but be wary that not all antigens are immunogenic. So you have to understand that the immune system starts with learning its language. Immunology has its own set of key terms that describe how the body recognizes and defends against invaders. Mastering its language is the first step in understanding how immunity works. So I would just like to take a moment just to explore a little bit of antigen recognition. So the way your immune system actually recognizes an antigen comes down to the structure. So antigen receptors have variable domains at their tips, and each antigen binding site has 2 of these domains. Within them are 3 hypervariable loops that are unique for the clone of each lymphocyte. These loops are what bind to antigens specifically. B cells usually recognize carbohydrate or protein antigens in their native form. Antibodies can then neutralize viruses, bacterial toxins, or mark bacteria for destruction by phagocytes. T cells, on the other hand, recognize cell-associated antigens that are also presented by MHC molecules, major histocompatibility complex molecules. They can kill infected cells and also communicate with other immune cells to coordinate the response. I will dedicate an entire video to the MHC complex. And finally, let's just take a quick look at clonal selection and immune memory. So here's what gets even more fascinating. So when a B or T cell binds to its specific antigen, it becomes activated, divides, and produces a clone of cells, and this is called clonal selection. This process gives the immune system incredible specificity, especially the adaptive immune system. Remember, it has exquisite specificity. Each clone targets a single antigen, and some of these cells become memory cells. The reason your body remembers pathogens and responds faster on future encounters is because of this acquired specificity. So clonal selection is imperative for the immune response of memory. So putting it all together then, let's just quickly summarize some of the language of immunity. So pathogen is an invader. Antigen is the invader's name tag. Antigen receptors are the immune cell's recognition tools. Antibodies are the weapon produced by B cells. Clonal selection is creating armies of targeted defenders. And immune memory is long-term record of past invaders. Once you understand these terms, you can start to see the immune system as a smart, adaptive defense network, always learning and always remembering. Immunology might seem complicated, but at its core, it's a story about recognition, defense, and memory. And now you know the basic vocabulary. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this episode. I hope it wasn't too complicated. Of course, I planned it in a cohesive manner for you all to understand, and I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, guys, that was science made simple.